The presidential suite.
The presidential suite is a very secure area. The other people in the site, they had no access, and they were very, very curious as far as what was behind the door. The presidential bedroom was, of course, a king-size bed. Then there was a separate kitchen set up in our suite to feed 30 or 40 people. The presidential office overlooked the war room, which had the same display that was a duplicate of what they had in the Pentagon. We would look down, and of course they'd look up, and they couldn't see through the glass because it was a one-way glass.
To understand why these bunkers were created, you have to rewind to the 1950s. For some, it was America's golden age. But it was also the dawn of a ruthless fight for global supremacy.
The United States and the Soviet Union stand on the verge of direct military confrontation,
in which both sides built up an arsenal of spectacularly powerful weapons that meant the next World War would not last years, but minutes.
There might be as little as 15 minutes notice of an attack that could wipe out much of civilization as we know it. And so the Eisenhower administration began an elaborate process of contingency planning. And if we only had a few minutes, then they didn't want to have any sort of layers of review or approval that would slow down the process of responding to a major emergency.
To avoid mass panic, the U.S. government had created a nationwide civil defense program.
We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it.
Growing up in the 1950s, there were fallout shelters, places where you would go if the nuclear war occurred. And in those fallout shelters, there was water, there were prescription drugs. The notion really was that you could go there and survive.
The government starts telling Americans that not only can they survive a nuclear war, but they could go on living their lives as long as they come together in an unquestioning mass.
Dusk and cover. This family knows that even a thin cloth helps protect them. Even a newspaper can save you from a bad burn.
But while the public was being told to build shelters and duck under their desks, the government elite were going to hide under tons of rock and reinforced concrete.
There was an awareness at the highest level of the American government that these civil defense drills were really window dressing. This was a massive, massive propaganda effort that bore almost no relationship to reality whatsoever. President Eisenhower knew that this was all bull. He said things like, if nuclear war comes, there aren't going to be enough bulldozers to scrape the bodies off the streets.
All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Shakar here with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakah Quadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom. All right, I just wanted to get into this article, going right with, okay, that video. Okay, I took that little piece of that segment from that video, going into these bunkers, okay, these nuclear shelters. But ultimately, okay, they're going to tell you that there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to hide. Okay, if World War III, okay, breaks out, which we know it is, according to the scriptures, okay, and America, Babylon the Great, okay, it's going to get hit with those warheads, there's going to be nowhere to go. Okay, this place is going to be totally destroyed according to the scriptures. But I just wanted to get into this article. I'm going to get right into it. It's from U.S. News, and it says nuclear bunker cells increase. It says despite experts warning they aren't going to provide protection because they know. Also, ultimately, when it comes to these elites, okay, they have the understanding, they know, okay, that once nuclear war, okay, touches so-called America, Babylon the Great, there's going to be no way out, okay? And we know, okay, again, those that have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the only way out is up, okay? That's going to be in that fathership, But let me read a little bit of this. This global security leaders are warning nuclear threats are growing as weapons spending surged to $91.4 billion last year. And I'm just going to skim through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If I remember, I'll go ahead and include the article in the description box just in case, anybody hasn't seen the article or wants to read more of it. Let me see. Just want to get to the point where they're telling you, hey, these bunkers are not going to provide safety. Okay, they're really just there so people can have a peace of mind. Okay, right before this disaster hits. Let me see. Let me go right here. It says they're good for anything, and this is those that are selling these bunkers. Okay, of course. Okay, they're trying to make their money. Okay, they're trying to provide some type of mental stability for what's coming. But we know, again, according to the scripture says what wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, there's nothing that's going to be able to stop World War III from destroying so-called America. It says they're good for anything from a tornado to a hurricane to nuclear fallout to a pandemic to even a volcano erupting, he said, sweeping his arms toward a massive warehouse where more than 50 different bunkers were under construction. So again, of course, they want to sell them. They want to try to make their money. Let me see. I think it's down here. I did, like I said, I did read it earlier, but I just don't want to read the whole thing. Yeah, let me just start off here. It says if a small number of weapons detonate, rather than an all-out war, he said, sheltering inside a large building to avoid the fallout could save lives. You see, but hey, when this war hits, it's gonna be a war like none other. Okay, this will be the lake of fire. Okay, so-called America, Babylon the Great, will be engulfed in flames. Okay, from sea to shining sea. Not 1 inch of America, will not be burning. It says underground bunkers, listen, aren't going to protect people. So they know this, just like they stated at the end of that video. Okay, these bunkers are not going to bring protection. Why? Because this is going to be, a war like none other. It says non-proliferation advocates bristle at the bunkers. So you got those that, that don't, they don't want the war, to escalate. Okay, they get mad. Okay, they're mad because they know, that as these bunkers are being sold, as people are being, coerced, to buy these bunkers, those that have the means to do it, those with the financial ability to do it, again, there's going to be no way, these shelters are going to be able to protect anybody. Again, it says non-proliferation advocates, bristle at the bunkers, shelters, or any suggestion that a nuclear war is survivable, because it's not. Once these missiles start to fly, nothing's gonna stop them. There's gonna be nowhere to go. There's gonna be nowhere to hide, and they know this. Let me that'll be it for the article. Let me just get into some scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. Let me see here. Let me start here in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, and we'll start at the top, verse 1. Listen, it says, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every false spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. This is going to what? The post-destruction. After Babylon the Great is destroyed, so-called America. You see? And we're going to prove that so-called America is Babylon the Great. Because according to the scriptures, Babylon the Great's got to be destroyed, okay, before the kingdom can be established. So let's jump down to the 7th verse. And it says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she has said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. See, and that's the mindset, that's the attitude of the majority of Americans. Okay, they have that attitude that nothing's going to be able to touch so-called America. It says, therefore shall all her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. See, and she shall utterly be burned with fire. It says, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So this is judgment from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. He's going to bring judgment upon America, or so-called America, Babylon the Great. It says, and the kings of the earth who had committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Yeah, because they're going to be crying because so-called America has been a cash cow. Okay, according to what I googled it earlier, and let me get that. America, okay, so-called America is the #1 import nation in the world. Listen, it says in 2023, the U.S. imported, I can't read that. Okay, 3.2 trillion in goods, making it the biggest importer. Listen, globally, due to its large consumer base, the advanced economy, the U.S. is the world's largest importer of many product categories, including cars, electronics, industrial machinery, and pharmaceuticals. So right there, that's telling you, okay, who is it speaking about? Okay, this is speaking about so-called America. Again, the #1 import nation in the world. So when these nations see, okay, this place being burned with fire, okay, they're going to lament. Okay, they're going to wail because they're going to lose their cash. They're going to lose their cash cow. Verse 10, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon. See, that mighty city, says, for in 1 hour is that judgment come. Because the scripture says, what, in one hour, okay, your riches shall come to naught. Okay, but because this place is getting ready to be put down, man. It's only going to take the Lord 1 hour to bring total destruction to so-called America. Again, it's going to be on fire from sea to shining sea. Not 1 inch of America, okay, will not be burning. Let me go to, let me stay here in Revelation, and let me go to the top, the 17th chapter. Let me go to the top. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, see, that sitteth upon many waters. Let me get that real quick. It's gonna tell you what those waters represent. Okay, what nation is this speaking about? Listen, this is Revelation 17 and 15. It says, and he saith unto me, see, the waters which thou sawest, says, where the whore sitteth, see, and that great whore is so-called America. It says, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So what is so-called America known for? Being that great melting pot. Okay, you pretty much have every nation represented right here in so-called America. Because America is supposed to be what? The land of the free, okay, the home of the brave, so on and so forth. So this is that great melting pot. Okay, this is what this is speaking about. This is speaking about so-called America. Let me jump back up to the 2nd verse. And it says, see, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Because you got all these nations, okay, especially when it comes to China, okay, they follow the ways of so-called America, man. Okay, when you go to China, you don't see them dressing in their ancient garments. No, they're dressing in suits and ties. Okay, they're drunk, okay, with that philosophy. Okay, they're drunk with the ways of so-called America. Verse 3, it says, so he carried me away in the spirit, see, into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. Listen, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, those 7 heads, okay, and those 10 horns represent the NATO and the EU. Okay, those 7 heads, that represents what? Germanium Minor, Germanium Major. Okay, you had the Greeks, okay, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, and the British. okay, which pretty much represents, okay, Esau's power structure. Okay, those 10 horns, okay, were basically vassal states. Okay, those that have given their allegiance, okay, to so-called America, to the beast system. Verse 4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Again, going, okay, to all the nastiness, okay, all the things they push. Again, the alphabet agenda, okay, the philosophies, okay, that they bring forth. Okay, obey your thirst. Okay, just do it. Okay, have it your way. Okay, this is all part of America's deceit, America's lies, so-called America. Okay, again, their democracy. Okay, and feminism, man. This is what this place pushes, and you got all these nations, okay, following right along. Because so-called America, okay, was known at one time for having gold streets, man. But then once these nations get here and they see what's here, okay, they see this place as a cesspool, because it is. Okay, and it's just continuing to get worse. Verse 5, it says, and upon her forehead, see, was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, see, and abominations of the earth. Okay, so again, this is speaking about so-called America. Okay, and it had been a mystery, but now the Lord has given this truth, okay, to his men, okay, the men that the Lord has set up, okay, to bring this truth out, okay, that this Mystery Babylon is so-called America. Let me jump down to the 18th verse. Listen, it says, and the woman, okay, that great whore, okay, which thou sawest, is that great city, okay, which is Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now, who's reigning over all these other nations? Okay, who puts sanctions on everybody? What's the language, okay, that they got to speak in when it comes to aviation? Okay, in order to fly those planes, okay, you got to speak English. Okay, whose face is upon the dollar? Okay, this is all proof. This is speaking about, okay, one particular people, okay, one particular nation. Okay, it's speaking about the so-called white man, okay, ruling here in so-called America, okay, Babylon the Great. But ultimately, this place got to be destroyed. That's why when it comes to these bunkers, these shelters, okay, they're not going to help. Because this place is going to be destroyed, okay, with nuclear fire. Let me go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and let me go to verse 5. Actually, verse 4. It says, see, and the host of heaven, it says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. See, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Now, that represents, okay, the mushroom cloud. It says, and all their hosts shall fall down, see, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the falling fig, see, from the fig tree. So that's what those missiles are going to look like. Okay, the prophet Isaiah here, he's describing those missiles, okay, the best way he can. At that time, they didn't know nothing about no warheads or no missiles. No, he's describing, okay, those missiles as figs or leaves, okay, falling from a tree. That's what they're going to look like, okay, when they're coming down upon so-called America. It says, listen, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. See, the Lord's sword is his destruction, that destruction that's coming. It says, behold, it should come down upon Idumea. Now, Idumea is the Greek word, okay, for Edom, okay, which represents the Edomites, the so-called white man. It says, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. You see? And the curse of the judgment lies in the house of the wicked. Let me get that. Proverbs. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 33. Listen, it says, the curse of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, is in the house of the wicked. Now, who's the wicked? Okay, according to Malachi 1 and 4, okay, Esau, he is that border of wickedness. Let me get that next, but let me finish this verse. It says, but he blesses the habitation of the just. Now, Israel is that just nation, but on this side, where the destruction is going to take place, it's only about an elect, a remnant. Okay, but ultimately, all Israel will be that just nation. But the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. Let's see who is that wicked. Let's go to Malachi, chapter 1. I'm going to get right to the point. Verse 4. See, it says, whereas Edom, this is speaking about the Edomites, It saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And they did that. During the time of the Renaissance period, okay, they came back into power because they lost their power when the Western Roman Empire fell. Okay, then Jake was in rulership for roughly about 1,000 years during the so-called Dark Ages or the Byzantine era. Okay, Jake is the nobility. Okay, but at that time, okay, Jake was known as the nobility, meaning there's Russian icons. Okay, there's proof. Okay, that Jake was in rulership. Okay, but you have these devils. Okay, they've come with their lies and their deceits. Okay, they want to say that there was really nothing going on. Really, it's because they were not in the power seat. Okay, they were at the bottom for a time period for roughly 1,000 years. But once those 1,000 years, okay, were fulfilled, okay, the Edomites, okay, came back into power. It says here, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, they shall build. So they came back through the Renaissance period. It says, but I will throw down. So the Lord's going to bring it down, man. The Lord's going to bring down the rulership. It says, and they shall call them, listen, the border of wickedness. See, and the people, not just Esau, not just the man Esau, but the people. Okay, all his lineage. It says, the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have indignation forever. Indignation is the righteous anger. So the Lord is not with the so-called white man, even though they are in their blessing. Okay, they're in their position of power, but the Lord gonna bring them down, man. You see, the so-called America, where they're ruling out of, is gonna be destroyed. So again, those bunkers, those shelters, okay, they're not gonna help anything. Okay, they're just gonna be the tombs. Okay, where these people are gonna perish in. So let me go back to Isaiah just to show you that this place is gonna be desolate. It's gonna be a wilderness. Let me go back to the book of Isaiah, the 34th chapter, and I'm gonna try to get to the point. I'm just gonna go to verse 8. It says, "For it is the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's vengeance." Didn't we just read that He's gonna throw down? It says, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Okay, they've come against the apple of the Lord's eye, man. Okay, Israel is the Lord's people. Listen, it says, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Okay, that's going to come from all that destruction, man. This is going to be one big lake of fire. It says, it shall not be quenched, see, night or day. It says, the smoke thereof shall go up forever, meaning for a very long time. It says, from generation to generation, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Again, meaning for a very long time. Because if this was speaking about hell, okay, or the lake of fire was speaking about hell, okay, how can these wild animals, which we're going to go into, dwell there? Okay, we just read, and we started off in Revelation, okay, the 18th chapter, meaning that there's going to be a place for these unclean birds, okay, these unclean animals. It says, but the cormorant, see, and the bittern shall possess it, going into these birds, and the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. These are all unclean birds. It says, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion, see, and the stones of emptiness. So you're not going to be able to tell where New York City was, okay, where Las Vegas is at. Okay, everything's going to be uprooted, man. This place is going to be turned upside down, man, by that destruction. It says, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there. And her princes shall be nothing, because there's going to be no people here. Listen, and the thrones shall come up in their palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortress thereof, and there shall be a habitation of dragons and a court for owls. Okay, going into those desert creatures, those unclean animals. It says, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. So those satyrs were those mythological, creatures. You can look into it. Just Google satyrs. Hey, the Lord's being poetic here, meaning, hey, this place is going to be desolate. It's going to be a wilderness. It says, the screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. It says, there shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. See, and there the vultures shall be gathered, everyone with their mate. You see, this is going to be a place for unclean animals. Once that fire, burns down in so-called America, that's what's going to dwell here. There's going to be nothing left. Again, going back to those shelters, those bunkers, they're not going to help anything, man. And they know it. Let me go real quick to the book of Baruch, chapter 4. Let me get another precept on that. Chapter 4, and let me see. Let's see where I want to start off. I'm going to start off in verse 32. It says, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Are we not in the hands of these devils? The children of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. It says, miserable shall be thy cities. That means right here in so-called America. It says, miserable is she that received thy sons. See, did not we come here as slaves? Did not we as a people, from the so-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, to the so-called Negroes, be tortured, raped, robbed, murdered, put into captivity? Yeah, that's all in the history. See, that's a brutal history that they don't want to speak about. But it happened. There's no denying it. Again, it says, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin, see, and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Again, this place is going to be a wilderness, going to be desolate. It says, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. It says, listen, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting long to endure, meaning it's going to burn for a very long time. And she shall be inhabited, listen, of devils for a great time. Again, those devils going into what? Those unclean animals. Those desert creatures. That's what it's speaking about. So again, going back, to the lesson, it's going to be nowhere to go, man. It's going to be nowhere to hide. Those shelters, those bunkers are going to be good, for nothing. Let me go to the book of Revelation, because I'm gonna link up, Esau with Babylon. Revelation chapter 6, and let's go to verse 12. Listen, and it's the same thing that Isaiah saw. So the Apostle John here, John the Revelator, he's seeing the same thing. Listen, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, speaking about that destruction, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, because that smoke is going to cover, the light, man. This place is going to be in total darkness from all that destruction, man, all that smoke, that's going up into the air. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. See, even as a fig tree, listen, that represents those missiles, casteth away her untimely figs, and she is shaken, and when she is shaken of a mighty wind. That's what those missiles are going to look like. Stars falling, from the heavens, from the skies. You see, and those figs, falling from trees. It says, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, going into that mushroom cloud. That mushroom cloud, it looks like the scroll, rolling up. It says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Going back to what? The lines of confusion, see, and the stones of emptiness. Listen, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Meaning they're going to try to go into their bunkers. They're going to try to go into their underground facilities, the mountain retreats, the space stations, the underwater submarines. They're going to try to hide. But again, there's going to be nowhere to go. These shelters, these bunkers, these underground facilities, the space stations. Ultimately, those that go into the space stations, they're going to be pulled down from there. And that's going to be those of the elites. Now, the elites, they're not going to be in so-called America. No, they're going to be in Switzerland, Australia, so on and so forth. They're going to be away from the destruction because they know what's coming. It says, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, see, and from the wrath of the Lamb. This is what's coming, man. the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, okay, and his son Yahweh Shai, they're going to bring a destruction, okay, to so-called America, Babylon the Great, and wherever else destruction has been allotted. It says, listen, it says, for the great day of his wrath is come. See, and who shall be able to stand? Ultimately, that's going to be the elect. Okay, they're going to be delivered, okay, in that fathership. Okay, but this is linking, okay, so-called America, okay, Babylon the Great, to Esau. Okay, right here in the book of Revelation, okay, it's describing the downfall of Babylon the Great. Okay, but when the prophet Isaiah saw it, who did he say it was coming down upon? Upon Idumea, okay, the Edomites. Okay, so telling you that Esau, okay, and so-called America, Babylon the Great, okay, they're synonymous. Okay, they're linked together. Let me get one more. Let's go to the book of Psalms. One more to link, okay, the so-called white man, okay, which is Esau, okay, the Edomites, okay, with America, okay, with Babylon the Great. Psalms chapter 137, and let's go to verse 7. It says, remember, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So that they were saying, bring it down, bring it down. Okay, when the first temple was being brought down, okay, these devils were right there, man. Matter of fact, it tells you that it was actually these damn devils, okay, that burned it, man. Let me get that real quick. And I believe it's the 4th chapter and the 45th verse. I just get to the point. It says, this is the 1st Esdras chapter 4, verse 45. See, thou also hast vowed, listen, to build up the temple, listen, which the Edomites burned. So when Judea was made desolate, see, by the Chaldees, okay, by Babylon, man. Nebuchadnezzar, okay, when they brought down the first temple, it was the Edomites that burned down the temple. You see? Hey, so they got a lot to pay for. So let's go back to Psalms chapter 137. And I'm going to read verse 7 again. It says, remember, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, see, the children of Edom, see, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So they were there cheering on, man, and they took part. They burned down the temple. It says, O daughter of Babylon, see, it's linking Edom, the Edomites, okay, with Babylon. It says, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. You see, so a recompense is coming. Okay, a destruction is coming, okay, to these Edomites. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes, see, thy little ones against the stones. See, and this is what they were doing, man. They're ripping our women's bellies open, okay, taking the babies out, using it for gator bait, okay, smashing them against the rocks, okay, smashing them with their boots. That's why you get that saying, boots over bullets. Instead of wasting bullets, okay, they were smashing them with their damn boots, man. So you don't think that okay, so how can you think the Lord's not going to bring a recompense upon these damn devils, man? Let me get the book of Colossians real quick. Chapter 3 and verse 25. Listen, it says, but he that doeth wrong was not that wrong of him doing that, ripping open bellies, okay, using them as gator bait so they can make luggage, shoes, boots, okay, clothing. Wasn't that wrong? Listen, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. So recompense is coming. See, and there is no respect of persons. Because ultimately, the Lord is only looking for his elect on this side, man. That's why 2/3 of our people, okay, they're going to be destroyed right along with Esau and these nations. But these devils, okay, they're going to get what they deserve, man. They're going to get exactly what they deserve, and there's going to be no escape. That's why, they're telling you that these shelters, these bunkers, okay, they're going to be good for nothing. Let me go to Isaiah. Let me get a couple more. Just going into how this place is going to be desolate. Okay, so-called America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so-called America, Babylon the Great, okay, will be made desolate. Isaiah chapter 13, and let me go to verse 19. Listen, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, it says, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so how did the Lord destroy Sodom, Gomorrah, okay, and those neighboring cities? You had Admah, Zeboim, okay, Zoar, Okay, you had Sodom and you had Gomorrah, 5 cities that were destroyed, okay, with fire and brimstone. This time, the fire and brimstone, that's going to be the warheads, okay, and that's going to be the lasers, okay, that the so-called UFOs are going to let loose, okay, that concentrated heat. It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. It says, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, telling you that this place is going to be desolate. Okay, there's going to be no inhabitants other than what? Those desert creatures, those unclean animals. It says, but listen, well, it's going to tell you, but the wild beast of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls, and it says, and owls shall dwell there, the satyrs shall dance there. Again, the Lord being poetic. Those satyrs are just mythological creatures. Okay, they're not real. But the Lord is being poetic here, telling you that, hey, there's gonna be no inhabitants here, other than those desert animals. It says, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come. Hey, meaning we're right upon this destruction, man. But we're right there. The destruction is knocking at the door. It says, and her days shall not be prolonged. Okay, meaning once this place goes down, okay, it's not going to come back, man. Okay, and the destruction of this place is very near, man. So anybody here on the shores of so-called America, they're trying to get a bunker, get a shelter. It's not going to help. You see, and they're telling you this. Because the elites, okay, they're going to be out of this place. Okay, they're going to go again. They're going to go to these other countries where they have shelters there themselves. Okay, again, whether that be up in space in their space stations. Okay, underground in certain underground facilities, bunkers. Okay, mountain retreats. Okay, or even in their underwater submarines. But the Lord said, "What? I'm gonna take them out of there." Let me go real quick to the book of Amos, chapter 9. Just wanted to get this point. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. So they're going to go underground, because these elites, but the Lord going to get them. It says, though they climb up to heaven, they go into their space stations, thence will I bring them down. So you're going back to what? Jeremiah 16:16. Okay, the fishers shall become hunters. Okay, that's going to begin with the angels. Okay, and those of the elect, okay, that are going to be given, okay, that spiritual power, man. They're going to go and get these devils from wherever they're hiding. Listen. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, the Carmel was a mountain, again, they're going to go to their mountain retreats. Okay, they're going to escape the destruction here in so-called America. Okay, speaking about the elites. Okay, but those that are going to be left here, okay, whether they get bunkers or not, they're going to be destroyed here. It says, I will search and take them from out thence. It says, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, okay, into this underground submarines, underwater submarines, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Okay, going into what? Leviathan, man. Okay, Leviathan. Okay, Godzilla. Okay. Okay, what do you think they get Godzilla from? Okay, that's Leviathan, man. That's what's gonna pull, okay, these damn devils from those submarines. Now, if the angels and those men that with spiritual powers, if they gotta go under the water and get them, that's gonna happen as well, man. So there's gonna be nowhere to go. There's gonna be no way out. Okay, these elites, they're not gonna ultimately escape. Okay, they're gonna be gathered and they're gonna get arrested. Okay, and then those here in so-called America, not gonna make it. Again, whether you have a shelter, a bunker, or if you don't have anything, this place is gonna be destroyed, man. So let me get one more. Let me go to the book of Malachi, and I'm gonna close out here. Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. Listen, it says, for behold, the day cometh, thou shalt burn as an oven. Okay, what's going to make that burn like an oven? Okay, what's going to make it burn like an oven? That destruction. Okay, that nuclear fire. It says, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Meaning they're going to be melted, man. they're going to be stubble. They're going to be like ashes. Now, this is going to include, okay, all those that have done wickedly, even 2/3 of our people, because they follow the ways of the so-called white man. They follow the ways of these other nations. You know, and they've become very proud. Again, they have that mindset that America cannot be destroyed. Okay, we got the greatest military. Okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Hey, but the Lord going to make it. Okay, well, this place is going to go down, man. It says, and that in the day that cometh, listen, shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. There's going to be nothing left, man. All you're going to have here, once that fire burns out, okay, as we read earlier, you're going to have those desert creatures, those desert animals. That's it. No shelter, no bunker. Here on the shores of so-called America, okay, are going to help. Okay, and they know this. And those are the elites that escape. Hey, you're going to be okay. You're going to be brought out of those hiding places. Okay, there's going to be no escape, no way out. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close out and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.